Hello, I'm Dawn. This is Yarn is a Sport, and thank you for coming by to play ball. I caught it. The Yarn Caddy thinks I should begin this with, hello, sports fans, but I'm not sure the younger generation would even get that. First thing I want to do is apologize for not having more videos uploaded, more episodes. Time and life are always making other plans. We have had some health scares. Everything's okay. I'm intending to do Yarn Vent this year, and my goal is to upload today, which is the Sunday after Thanksgiving, through the 31st, I think, which are Sundays. So there'll be 6 Sundays. Let's see if I can go once a week after I get into that habit. Although they do say you need to do things 7 times to form the habit. So we'll see. As I said, I'm going to do Yarn Vent. I really am trying to be frugal with my yarn purchases. I really try to do it so that I do things on sale or during specials or with a coupon. I really wanted to do an Advent, and I knew they start like February, March with the teasing, letting you know what the inspiration is. And one of them that came out late in the spring, I think, with the inspiration was Skein Cocaine. And her inspiration was David Bowie. And the reason that really hit home for me is that's somebody that my daughter really is enthusiastic about. In fact, she had dyed her hair, I think it's Iggy Stardust, the orange with the little yellow stripe, and still had her hair dyed that way when we lost him. So I thought, okay, I know she's probably not going to make it home for the holidays this year. That would be a way to have her here with me, and I'll use the yarn to make her sweater for next year. So I have my Advent from Skein Cocaine. I have not opened it. I did remove the label, but I've not done anything else with this yet. Chevy got one as well. And I saw this morning where she kind of showed a sneak peek, and I'm so excited. I guess there's a list of songs that were the inspiration. So I think that's what I'll do, is I'll listen to a song before I open it. That's the plan. As I said, plans don't always go as planned. So I was just going to do one. But then we were talking, I was looking for something else, and another one popped up on my, because it listens to you and it takes, it listens to the phone listens to what you say. So it's just going to bring up things that are pertinent to that topic. And as many of you probably know, my dad's name is Clark Griswold. And I have just learned to embrace it. I only thank the Lord that I was out of college in '83 when that movie came out. So I found one that kept popping up on my Instagram that was Christmas 2023 Griswold Vacation Griswold Christmas Vacation Advent. I had to. I had an Uncle Eddie, though. Not a cousin. We had an Uncle Eddie. And he would show up with his, I think there were only 4 kids at the time, where we were stationed, because my dad was in the Navy. And we only had posts then. We had phones, but it was expensive. It was long distance. So they would send a letter out, I think the day they left. And my mom would get it like a day or 2 before they arrived. Anyway, my Uncle Ed is the one that taught me to ride a bicycle. That was one of the times that they had showed up at the base. That one was in Connecticut. Anyway, this kept popping up, and I'm like, if a little voice talks to you more than 3 times, or there's something else more than 3 times, you need to listen to it. So I had a chat with the yarn caddy, and he's like, absolutely, get it. So Polka Dot Creek is the name of the yarn company, and it comes in a box that has this nice little sticker that says no peeking. But this is open. I did not open it. We had a new postal delivery person, and they delivered it to the wrong place. And I did call them, and they said that this one is just yarn and the bag. And the yarn caddy said that's what's in there, so we're good. And I made him count the skeins. I don't think any, but just because it was open. Anyway. So I will be doing those 2. And for that one, I am going to try to guess from the names of the yarns, because I'm sure they named them something pertinent to the movie, the color that I'll be opening. So that's what I'm going to be doing for that one. The other one that I saw, and I'm like, oh, maybe, and then we did talk about getting that one instead, was there was a 12-day speckled yarn. And I didn't get that one, but Diane of my pink bathtub knits did. So do watch hers. Okay, the next thing I want to tell you is if you are looking for something to request for Christmas and you have been thinking about Tunisian crochet, there is a podcast called Fiber Chats, and I'll list below. She interviews people that knit, crochet, weave, design, anything within the fiber arts. And her last one, she may have uploaded since, but in the last few days, she had one that was Stackpole Publishing. Now, I purchased this book, and I do Tunisian. Tunisian is my go-to. More likely, I haven't done anything in it for wearables, but I do want to do a t-shirt out of the Tunisian, sometime before summer. That's on my list. I've started my list of goals for next year. Start yours now, because before you know it, will already be past New Year's. So I do Tunisian, but there's a designer, akloridesigns, that has got some great patterns, and they're in my queue to purchase or to do several of them on Ravelry. But I really like Lori's work, and I thought, I'm going to get that. So I did. and it is a Stackpole Publishing book. It's called Exploring Tunisian Crochet by Lori Harrison. And what I think is fabulous about this book, I started crocheting at 5 or 6, and I taught myself from a little booklet. And we were in the military, so like my friends were books and Mr. Rogers, because no matter where we were in the United States, generally we had PBS, and so we had him. And then later, I was already in school when Sesame Street started, but Mr. Rogers was my companion, and books. So when we would go to stores, they would have a little book section, and sometimes they'd have a yarn or a craft section, particularly Ben Franklin. So I would sit and look at the different pamphlets and things, and one of the days I spent my allowance and I got a little booklet. And I did find it recently. I will be showing that in an episode next year. It's on my list. My mom's friend had been trying to teach her, and my mom was left-handed and was having a really difficult time. So I had found this book, and my mom, she may have picked up the difference. I'm sure I didn't have enough money for my allowance, because I'm thinking this was like 35 or 50 cents. I'm old. And it could be I bought the book and she gave me her yarn and the hook that she was trying to use. But I had taught myself to crochet. And then I taught her. But the way I taught her was, rather than sitting beside her, we sat across from each other and mirrored what we were doing. And Lori's book has got, I was one of the first ones to get, so I have an autograph copy. One of the things I really like about it, it's great binding, which when you have, that's so important. It's a really nice binding, so I'm sure any Stackpole Publishing books would be of this quality. It's a nice, heavy, I'm going to say semi-gloss paper. It's not shiny, but it's the color is fabulous. But what Lori did is she's got step-by-step pictures and then a left-handed picture. And I think that is going to be very helpful. The other thing she did, which some magazines do this, and I wish all of them did, is in the back, it lists the patterns. But Lori went one step further and has, according to the level, there's level 1, that's the first one's basic beginner. Level 2. Level 3. And then the difficult level of 4. So she has a variety. If you already know how to Tunisian as far as the basics, there's some great patterns in here that are going to be challenging. If you're a beginner, it's a great way to begin. I like the way it's laid out. So, again, that's Exploring Tunisian Crochet, Lori Harrison. It's a Stackpole publication. Put it on your list for Christmas. Or just get it. I'm going to do whips next. This is what I'm working on. I have done some things I've completed. I've already sent them out. Jackie of, that may have ended, of Crochet ADHD had a knit crochet along that was inspired by Doctor Who, and I have a friend that is really into Doctor Who, so I sent that as a gift. So I don't have that, and I didn't take a picture at the end. I really wanted to get it in the post so that they would have it before, I think yesterday maybe it was Friday, it was like the 60th anniversary and the opening show for the series, and I really wanted her to have that. But if you remember last January, February, I started designing an Afghan, and I did, actually, I ordered the yarn for it, and I think I got that in April, and started, because I had to figure out what colors and how much I'd need, and by the time I got that, I started this, and I have an episode that explains how I design things, and that you'll find it listed in my videos, and that it's how I design an Afghan, I think is the title. I'll link it, but I don't know if I'll figure out how to, but I'll list it. A lot of ums again. I'm sorry, I am out of practice. All right. We're bunny trailing all over. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. So I did this Afghan, and the thing is, it's crocheted, and the thing is, it has a multitude of stitches. When you do different stitches, to get the same swatch count, sometimes you have to change your hook size. And I took diligent notes, but was really getting frustrated. So the Yarn Caddy confiscated it. And that's an episode that you'll find in my videos too, Confiscated. So this has been in the ICU, which is what it's called here because of nursing, which is Item Completion Unknown or Undetermined. So I got that out. I really want to get this done to get it sent off well before Christmas. So I need to get this in the post this week. It is done with Hobby Rainbow 8/4 cotton. Now cotton means that it's heavy as far as the weight of it. But cotton breathes, and this is going to Texas, is why I selected that yarn. And this is, I don't know how I'm going to do this, I guess like this. This is, I'll start from the bottom. All right, so I have, there we go. I have the bottom, and then I went into a pattern that repeats. And as you can tell, there's a lot of different stitches here. And with this one in particular, the bobbles are one size hook, and the green is another size. These are done at the bigger hook than this one. So there's been notes, and you have to kind of mess around sometimes with the stitch count, skipping and to get the same number when you change, so that the give in it is right. So there will not be a pattern. Sorry. You want some ideas, or you want to ask me what I did, my information to contact is below, and I'll be happy to discuss it with you. But if you're having trouble with something, I can make some suggestions. But especially if you're doing like squares and then you want to put them together, some are more tight than others. And with the Tunisian, I will tell you, I always go up at least one, if not 2 or 3 hook sizes from what the yarn tells you, because the way it's constructed, it takes up more yarn. Depending on the stitch, it takes up as much as crochet, and crochet can take 20 to 40% more yarn than knitting. Now, knitting can take more. When you do stockinette's one thing, but when you do lace or you do cables, it changes according to what you're doing with it. And that's kind of the same with the crochet, but crochet always takes more than knitting. So this one I want to have completed and sent out. And at the same time, I plan to post this giveaway prize. Now, from my last one, it was the difference in fiber festivals, and I discussed two that I attended this year, Michigan Fiber Festival and Wisconsin Sheep and Wool, and the difference between the fiber festival and the sheep and wool and some other things. But this I got at Wisconsin Sheep and Wool, and one of the vendors was Stitched Naturally, and they are Shapiers. I know some people say Scarpes, but it's Shapiers is the yarn that they have. Most have the upside down. Nope, that's right. That's their information. I don't know how focused that is for you. But they were kind enough to donate this to me. Now, I have 15 comments, but I interacted. So there were actually 6 people that, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people that I am putting into the bowl. We're going to do this old school, the way Chevy Rell used to do it. Now, I will tell you, I do know if you interact with comments and you do the wheel, interacting with it, and not necessarily the wheel, but the comment picker can be skewed if you have interacted. And with everything I had going on with I did interact, and I knew there weren't a lot of them, so I knew this would not be overwhelming to do this method, and I hope it's all right with you guys. So I am going to choose one, only one, and the winner is, oh, I'm so excited, Sharon Sutcliffe. So Sharon has emailed me. I am so excited. I will have that out to you. I don't know how long it'll take to get it to you. I will put it as a gift, so hopefully that won't be a problem with your exports, imports, taxes. All right, let me put this part of a set. Don't want to break the bowl. Oh, Sharon, I'm so excited for you. So I will get that sent out this week also. I was excited about that because my grandmama was Dutch, my mom's mom, and she had a little Dutch boy and girl. So, the next thing that I have to show you is I don't know how easy it's going to be to show you. I'm going to try to explain a method. Granny squares are really making a comeback right now. They were popular when I was in grade school in the 70s. Yeah, again, I'm old. And I'm working on one right now. And when I was putting it together, I realized I've seen people holding up as they're putting things together, and I'm like, that would be a lot of ends to do. Now I do my squares as I go. With this particular one, as you can see, I changed the color every row. So as I did each row and I finished it, I wove in the ends. Then I laid it out, and with some of the squares I had, this color is discontinued, but I had some that had a lot, some that didn't look like it had any, and some that had just a little. So I laid it out several different ways. One of them I ombrayed, one of them I went right to the inside, and I decided to do those that had to the outside. So I laid it out. Now this is 5 squares across and 6 squares down. So that means I have 5 rows that I connected, the 5 going across. And I do a flat, which means that if you look at this side, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, it looks more like it's purled in knitting along here. And on this side, it's flat and looks like it's been knit. I don't know if that's going to show up for you guys. I used different yarns. I had scrap yarns. But with this method, I have got 5 rows that I put together because there were six rows. So I have 5 joining rows. And I have got 2 ends, beginning and the end of each row. And you may be going, what? How? It's because when I laid it out, I took the 2 rows that were side by side and I put them into 2 piles in order. And then I took the top of each pile and put them together. And then I chained 2. And I took the next 2 from the piles and I put them together. And what happens is you end up with a chain that connects with 2 stitches in between. And the reason you do 2 stitches in between is it'll give it a little bit of give. It's like when you quilt fabric, you do very short, 6 inches I think is what's generally recommended, 6 to 12 inches that you stitch, and that you do where you almost like a buttonhole, making a buttonhole or a zigzag where you go over several times because you don't want to knot, and then you stitch and then you end it that way and you tuck the thread in. And the reason is if somebody sits on it, they're less likely to break the thread. And it's the same with this. This way has give, as you can see how that gives. But when you do this way, there's not any give to that. So you want to have a little extra there. And again, this gives you 2 ends instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2. So that'd be 10 ends if I did each row on and then just did it down. So I am not really set up to do tutorials. But for this, I recommend going to a quilting one that does chain quilting. And that will show you the method. If you have any questions, absolutely contact me. So instead of having 10, I have 2 ends at the very outside edge. Now the thing is, this took me about 10 minutes a row, so about an hour into this, and I've got 5 by 6 connected. Let me step back here and show. Oh, I can show you this way. I have 5 by 6 connected, and it was a little over 10 minutes for each row that I did the 5, and I therefore am expecting that it's going to be, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes a row, because I've got 2 more squares or an additional square each one. So I'll be an hour, hour and a half finishing this. And when I do it now, all my ends are tucked in. All I have are these outside ones, and I can either weave them or I can lay them and then just crochet over it. And that's what I'm going to be doing. And I have a border to put on this, and then I'll be done. But I'm going to do several colors. I have just enough of this, I think it's banana raspberry or raspberry banana. It's green, blue, and yellow. That's going to be next. And then I have some more of this, and these are actually 2 different colors, but they're very close. But I have some extras of that that'll be on there. I have more of this, this is twisted Joanne's Big Twist in the sapphire. And the others, I'm sure they're Red Heart, but I don't know because the labels are long gone. This was Deep Stash. And some of it's newer yarn, so it doesn't qualify for Cheverell's Deep Stash make-along that she has. But I will finish this up, and eventually, someday I will do a tutorial on how I join and how I join the squares and how I put the squares together, but just not set up yet. That's on my list for 2024. I showed Diane of my pink bathtub. We did a video call, and I showed her what I had in my craft area, and she was like, well, it kind of looks organized. And I'm like, yeah, not really. It's just in boxes. And sometimes it's a lot of digging to find what I'm looking for. So I think that is everything that I was wanting to show you right now. I will try to remember to get a picture. I don't know where that is going to be going at this point. I kind of wanted it for myself, but my daughter liked the colors and said something, so we'll see. Again, if you have any questions, if you have any crafts that you're interested in and you have any, contact me. I'm retired. If I add an appointment or I've got a contractor here, I'll set up a time convenient for both of us. But generally, if you contact me, I'm available. I have the knitting, the crochet, the Tunisian. I've done tatting. I've done quilting, embroidery, crewel, needlepoint. And I could tell you my secrets for that, but I've not done a lot in the needlepoint. What else? I do spin, although there's going to be, it's not even going to be an episode, it's going to be like a series. I did get my wheel, and I got an upgrade from one that I had, I don't know, a decade ago, but there weren't any spinning, and I can't think what they're called. Not academies. See, I'm old. but there's groups that are registered groups that do things, and I didn't have anyone that does spinning in the area. And so I donated it, and I don't regret it, but I did donate it. And I got the same kind because I really liked the kind I had, which is a Kiwi 3. I had a 2. I got a Kiwi 3, which that one, the feet fold up on it, so that'll be easy for travel and for setting aside. And it is unassembled. So I will show the pieces out of the box. I got the tongue oil that I need to go over everything, and I'm gonna show that, and then the assembly. I am not as proficient because I haven't done it in 10 years. I am so proud of Chevas. She did so well with, and that's in one of the episodes, but her episode shows the judging, and it really is something to watch the judging. If you don't do a craft and you have a chance to see it being judged at a state fair or a fiber fest or a sheep and wool, go and see what it is, because this lady gave some great advice as far as what to look for and why you want to have a plan of what you're going to be doing. And it just definitely was good information. And then you'll know, because absolutely you should enter, do things for you, even if they're going to be gifts. Use them while you have them to your benefit, and it only benefits if you put them into a state fair or a competition, because yarn is a sport. You put them into a competition because you'll get that experience and that knowledge. If there's anything that you have questions about, I plan on showing, I did find the books that I had from when I was little and showing you books that I still have. I crochet with thread as well as with, the one thing I don't do much of is bulky. I don't do a lot. I might do a hat, but I don't do a lot with bulky. I do felting. I've got a needle felting project that I'm excited about that is with a purchased coat. So if there's something that you have an idea that would maybe help me decide where in my list of things for episodes, because I do have a list of episodes that I want to do for you. Enjoy your crafting, and thank you for coming by and spend some time with me. This is Yarn is a Sport. Thank you.